screaming. Welcome back, friends. Must draft wide receivers. I got a bunch for you today. Let's go. Welcome back, friends. Like I said, drafting wide receivers that I want to have on my team this year. I got a bunch of them. Let's jump in. Up first, he's going around wide receiver 20-ish. It's Ladd McConkey. I feel like he's not a very sexy pick this year, but a couple things that I love. He had 15 red zone targets last year, which kind of surprised me because he's a short man. He had 6.6 targets a game last season, which is not insane or anything crazy, but it's fine. And this year, I think the thing I like the most is he's the true slot guy now. Because the GOAT has not returned yet to the Chargers, I mean, you never say never, I'm not going to bring it up. But right now, that leaves 122 vacated targets. The Chargers were 6th in fantasy points to the wide receiver position. This offensive line is getting back healthy once again, finally, poor Herbert. He had a 90% route participation, a 78% snap share. He's on the field, they obviously love him. QJ is there, but he runs a different kind of route. He's more the deep guy, the crosser that's 20-30 yards. Ladd's the short catches targets. Now, I will caveat and say that if the man, the myth, and the legend does come back to LA, I don't actually want to take Ladd. That's depending upon who is the slot guy here. If it's Ladd, I love him. If they bring in the best wide receiver of all time, I'm more out on him. So I'm not going to say I absolutely love this man, and I feel like I love him every year. He's going around wide receiver 18 in that range. It's Garrett Wilson. He had 16.6 fantasy points per game before he got hurt last year, and he had 8.4 targets a game, and that includes the week he got hurt when he had 3 targets in that game. So do with that what you will. And if you take that injured week out, he had 9.3 targets a game, which puts him in the top 10. He had a 44% first read target share, and he was top 10 in wide receiver snap share as well. And you have to remember, this was with Justin Fields for the most part. Tyrod was mixed in there a little bit, but a large chunk of it was Justin Fields. Bless this man, Garrett Wilson. Wilson has a top 5 strength of schedule at the wide receiver position. Yeah, they have Adonai Mitchell. Yeah, they drafted some guys. I'm not really worried about it. Geno is an upgrade because at least he's going to throw the ball. He might throw 4 picks a game, but he's going to throw the ball. So unless he gets hurt again, it's hard for me to not love Wilson again. He's talented. He's getting the targets. He's on the field. They love him. The Jets are not good, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. But I don't think they're as bad as they were last year, which is good. It's not like Justin Fields run the ball 70 times a game bad, I hope, although it's the Jets. Anyway, I like Garrett Wilson. This is another if he can stay healthy guy, and I wasn't really planning on having him originally on the list, but I absolutely love what I found on him. It's Chris Olave. He's going inside the top 15 in wide receiver. He's around like 12, 13, that range. Last year, he had an 84% snap share, and he finished as wide receiver 7 on the year. He had 9.8 targets a game last season, which is nuts. It put him in the top 5. He was tied for 7th in targets per route run. He actually led the league in deep targets, which is like who would have thunk Chris Olave was the deep target leader? Not me. And he, like Ladd, had 15 red zone targets total. He was also top 10 in routes run at the position. They love him now with a quarterback who's actually going to throw the ball, and he's going to be there the whole year long and not mixed in with Spencer Rattlesnake. I think he could actually, A, hit top 7 again, and B, maybe even reach top 5. Do I think he's going to top like Jamar or Puka? No. But it wouldn't shock me if he's a top 5 wide receiver this year. If he can stay healthy, if he's on the field, I think it's an easy slam dunk. Obviously, that injury concussion history is scary, and that is part of the risk with him. I don't know what there is to not love with him. So I like Olave. Up next, he's going just inside the top 50, around like 48, 49. I absolutely love this guy, Wan'Dale Robinson. He is the slot guy in Tennessee as far as I can tell, and they loved him on the Giants, and you say, well, that's last year's team. Brian Daboll comes over from the Giants with the offensive coordinator position. Robinson was top 5 in wide receiver snaps last year. He was top 10 in targets a game. He had 8.8 targets a game. And I understand his ADOT was super low, but for PPR purposes, 8 targets is 8 targets. He had a 33% first read target share. He has the second easiest fantasy football playoff schedule this year. He had a 93% route participation last year, which is nuts. And he was tied 7th in targets per route run. This man will get the ball, and Carnell Tate is there. They do have some pieces, obviously, but I don't think Wan'Dale's going away, and it's not crazy to have him inside the top 30, I think. He might be my favorite guy on this list. It's really hard not to love him, other than like he's short and he has a low ADOT. Wan'Dale, like I'm going to smash Wan'Dale all day. Nope. That's another guy I absolutely love this year. He's going around wide receiver 40-ish, Chris Godwin. I feel like no one's really talking about him this year. They're talking about Ibuka, the Bucky situation, but Godwin's just kind of there. He's top 25 in targets per route run, which is a Dalton Kincaid stat, I understand, but he's actually on the field. He was 7th in yards after the catch last year. Did you know that? I didn't know that. With Mike Evans gone, yes, Mike Evans was injured for a lot of the season, so we got to see kind of what that's like, but a lot of that red zone targets will be gone. He has the 3rd easiest wide receiver schedule of anyone. I think he's going to be part slot guy, part outside, but I don't think he's going to be the one necessarily. I think Ibuka is going to be the one, which is good for Godwin. I could be wrong about that, but I would think you would guard the young wide receiver with your best cornerback versus the 30-year-old. That's just me, but some teams would disagree and are smarter than I am. So he didn't even play till week 4 last season because of his injury, and he missed weeks 6 through 11. So he wasn't on the field a ton, but he's another year removed from that injury. He had a full offseason to recover. I mean, again, like, could he be the top 10 guy? No, not necessarily, but top 25 I don't think is crazy at all. If he can stay healthy, which is the case for a lot of these guys, it's hard to not love Godwin getting 7 targets a game, 8 targets a game. So I'm pretty in on Chris Godwin. Up next, this is going to be a very popular pick, so I'll just say that. Josh Downs, he's going around wide receiver 45, 46, 47. There are 111 vacated targets with guys like Michael Pittman leaving the team, and they didn't really pick up anyone, and now Alex Pierce is on the pup. Yes, it's training camp, and he's injured, and it's a whole thing. Even if he's not injured, even if he's healthy for the season, Alex Pierce is still that deep threat guy. Josh Downs is the PPR target slot guy. I love that guy. He had a 24% target share last season. Tyler Warren already had over 100 targets last season. I don't see that getting crazy higher with all these vacated targets. Maybe a few will go to him, a few more will go to Pierce, but they've got to go somewhere, right? No Michael Pittman, who averaged 6.5 targets a game last season. There's a lot of mouths that have left. There's a lot of openings here for potential targets. And 15 is the magic number, apparently. He had 15 red zone targets last year. And obviously you have his stats about targets per route run. When he's on the field, he's great. The Dalton Kincaid stat, like I said, but I actually believe he's going to be on the field. He was on the field around 50% of the time last year, but I don't foresee that getting worse. Wow, they just signed Stephon Diggs, the Commanders. Dang. He's in the final year of his rookie contract year, so it's a big year for him. And JT is a top 5 touchdown regression candidate. So touchdowns got to go somewhere, right? Is Daniel Jones going to run off the torn Achilles? Maybe not as much. So again, just like everyone else, I love Josh Downs. And for my insane pick, we are back again. Hit the music. I feel like I pick this guy every year and it's either like really good or like who, and people don't really care. So I'm in again on Darnell Mooney at wide receiver 74. He's on the Giants now, which I understand is a different team. Jackson Dart is going to run more than like a Kirk Cousins did or a Penix did. But Neighbors is coming off that ACL injury, so I don't know that he'll be 100% right away. Maybe, maybe not. Mooney will at least get some of the slot snaps, probably not all of them, but some. In Atlanta, he had a 90% route participation, had an 82% snap share. He's on the field a ton. I don't see that changing really a lot this year. He's a better QB. He's in a better situation. I don't think the end zone work is necessarily there a ton. Like, I don't think he'll catch a ton of touchdown passes, but I think they're still going to use him and feature him in this offense. So again, it's one of those, like, he's not going to be top 20, not top 25, but will he beat 74? I think so if he's healthy, just like with all these guys. If he's healthy, I think so. I mean, could you name a current other wide receiver on the Giants? Darius Slayton, Isaiah Likely's there. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, Mooney's a good shot in the dark at 74. I don't hate it. You can literally pick him up for free probably. So feels great. And that is all the wide receivers that I'm going to talk about. Obviously, there is one that you should draft, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to move on. Anyway, we're on to tight ends next week. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.